Hey guys, welcome to Better Late Than Never. You're here with Cassie, Alice,
and Tanya
for our weekly night chats. So sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy. Hello guys, welcome back. Today we are going to do another episode where we interview one of our members, and today we are going to interview Alice.
Hello. Pretty sure you guys are very familiar with this hello.
Yeah, so everyone should know her. I mean, if you're new to this podcast, she's the final member of our team, and she's a second-year art and design student. She is responsible for editing all our episodes. So this podcast wouldn't exist without Alice because we wouldn't have any episodes if she wasn't here. And she's also responsible for technical stuff because when we were recording in person, she made sure that our sound qualities were nice. And yeah, she just makes sure that everything is fine. And she also gets us involved in communities, which I'm really thankful for. So let's welcome Alice.
Welcome, Alice.
Hello. Oh my God.
How's it feel to be on the other end this time then?
Honestly, I'm actually a little bit more nervous this time. I don't know.
So
sometimes my brain gets a little foggy.
It's hard to think on the spot, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, do you want to start off by telling us about yourself then?
Okay, I'm really bad with personal introductions, by the way. But I'm Alice.
Hi, Alice.
Hi, Alice.
Hi. It's my first time being on this podcast. Oh my God, so excited. I spent 7 years in Taiwan and then I moved to Guangzhou. It's basically a city close to Hong Kong. Anyways, yeah, I grew up there. I went to a Canadian school and I'm here now studying art and design at the University of Leeds, podcasting with Cassie and Tanya. What else should I say with my personal introduction? Do I say my interests and stuff? I like art. I like sports. I like Muay Thai. I don't know. I like a bunch of things. I like to read.
Yeah, you like a lot of things.
You have such range.
Yeah, that's me.
Lovely to know.
What about your family? Do you want to talk about your upbringing?
Okay. When I was younger, I essentially grew up mostly with my grandma and my aunt, in my memory at least. And I would say my family in general is really open-minded and they're really free to let us do whatever we want. And yeah, they're strict in their own ways, not in terms of academics, but mostly in terms of mannerisms or how we behave, how we treat people. In terms of studies and what we want to do, I think we're really free to explore what we want. So that's really good. My dad, especially, he's really free-spirited. And I remember him telling us in primary or middle school, saying that, if you guys don't like studying, tell us and we will find something that you like and we will go and specialize something. You don't necessarily have to like finish school or whatever.
Wow.
So. That's so nice. What the hell?
Yeah, so I would say I'm quite lucky in that sense.
That's very rare for Asian parents because like Asian parents are usually quite strict and they're like, oh, you need to study, blah, blah, blah.
I'm really glad. Like my grandma is very open-minded as well. Like she's so supportive and so encouraging. She was always like, oh, Alice, this is so good. For example, when I was a kid, I would give her my drawings and then she would be like, oh my God, Alice, you're going to be an artist one day. And
oh, wow.
Like, oh, stop, Grandma.
So cute.
And then my aunt, she helps us analyze things and she makes us see big picture as well as analyze details. So she would give us constructive criticisms, but at the same time be encouraging. So I would say like I'm very fortunate to have a very open-minded family.
That's so nice.
So nice.
Were you surrounded by any creative people in your family?
Surprisingly, none of my family members are creative.
Isn't your brother creative?
Oh, right.
You forgot about your whole brother.
Forgot about my brother. Whoops.
Oh my
goodness.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a younger brother. He's 2 years younger than me. He's very artistic. And I would say that's probably the only person who's artistic in my family. Yeah. The rest of my family are not. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
That means you debuted creativity in your family. You're the source.
Maybe. Or maybe like simultaneously with my brother, yeah.
Do you think you and your brother influence each other?
Yeah, of course. Like, especially when we were older, like when we're more mature,
Mm-hmm.
I think our ideas and our creativity consolidate more and we can feed off each other's ideas and make our ideas better. And I think I really get inspired by him as well, because a lot of the things that he does are some things that I haven't touched upon as well, or that I haven't touched upon as much. For example, like he was involved in photography before I was, and then now I am involved in photography. Yeah, so we definitely influence each other a lot.
Sounds very nice, your family.
Yeah.
Your family are all very supportive, and you have a creative brother, and you're allowed to do whatever you want. So that's so nice. What about your school? Like, was your school like very supportive of the art course?
Yeah, all of the schools I was in were all very free. When I went to primary school, maybe because the primary school I went to wasn't exactly the most conventional school. I think I've said it to you guys personally, but my primary school was quite interesting. I mean, in a way, it's good because they wanted to expose us to a lot of extracurricular activities and then put our mindsets into feeling like having, for example, homework or having things to learn is a good thing that we should cherish. So I would say that's kind of shaped how I learn now. But yeah, I was quite involved in arts, and the art teacher I had in primary school, she was very encouraging, and she always wanted us to explore different mediums, which probably influences the way I am now, considering that I'm very multidisciplinary in my practice. So, okay, I probably didn't say it, but when I went to Guangzhou, I first went to a local primary school, and then I transferred to the Canadian school in 4th grade. So, like, the Canadian school in general is just very open, and yeah, that's my school. Oh, I forgot to say something about my upbringing, actually. So, our home, we had white walls, and the white walls were all covered by my markers. Well, my brother and I, we all covered them with markers. Literally, there was no white spot. So after a while, they had to repaint everything.
Over your mural? Wow.
Yeah.
Would you say you've always been creatively orientated then? Since that goes back a very long time.
Yeah, I think I've always been quite creative. I don't know when I started to draw. It's probably very young.
It's very nice. Were your friends mostly like creative people?
I don't exactly have a concrete memory of a person who stuck with me that's very creative. But in middle school, there were some people who were really good at drawing. And I was like, oh my God, I want to draw like them. They are so good. Yeah.
Now you're studying art and design.
Yes.
What made you decide to study art and design?
Okay, maybe I should talk about how broad it is first.
Please do.
Explain what art and design is.
Personal question. We really want to ask.
Yeah, me too. I still don't really know.
So it's basically a combination of theory and practice. Like they combine a lot of the expression side of art and a lot of the communication side of design. But essentially, we're very free to explore what we want to do. So everybody's work is so different. There are some course mates who is more tailored towards fashion design, some course mates who want to do more of painting, some who wants to do sculpture. And for me, I am more focused on digital media like photography and film. But yeah, it's very broad. And the reason why I chose this course, obviously, is because it's very broad. Like when I was applying, I was very indecisive. I went through a lot of phases of thinking what course I should study. In one of the episodes, I said that I wanted to do makeup. I wanted to try music. I wanted to try psychology, criminology as well. There are a lot of paths I thought about, but then eventually I still want to do art. I'm just not sure which path to go into because I have such a broad range of interests, I think, and I want to do everything. So that's why I chose art and design. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you enjoying it? Like, do you sometimes feel like people who want to focus on something don't get enough help since it's so broad? Or are there like a lot of different like teachers with different backgrounds?
I'm very much enjoying the course. So essentially, we have optional modules that we can take, and then they span across different disciplines like bookbinding, printmaking, filmmaking, like just a lot of different things. But then sometimes I feel like the digital side isn't emphasized enough. And I happen to do more of the digital stuff. So that's why like I feel like, oh, can you guys help me a little bit here? I don't know what I'm doing. What am I going to do when I get out of here? You know, but mostly I enjoy it. Yeah, I really like my tutors. They're really supportive of my ideas and they give constructive criticisms. And then, I don't know, I just really like the environment in general. So
that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm still very curious. Can you like explain what kind of lectures you have? Do they teach like this discipline and then the other discipline next week? What is it like?
So as I said, we can like tailor our studies towards whichever way we want, right? So everybody has core modules. So some of the core modules I share with you guys, like marketing, research, some of the more theory things. But then every single semester we have this core module called creative practice. So we have to develop our independent series of work. And then we always get very abstract briefs. And then we can develop it whichever we want. It's so broad. We can literally do anything. Wow. So yeah, that's studio practice. And then optional modules, we just basically choose whatever. I feel like I'm just saying we can do whatever we want on this course. But it is basically
that's basically it. So do you not have lectures in your studio?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, we do. They're very conceptual, very abstract.
Really?
They like to introduce us to a lot of artists. I'm not going to lie here, like, as much as I try to understand sometimes, a lot of times it's kind of hard for me to comprehend a lot of the concepts in there. Like, it kind of takes me a while because it's very abstract and very conceptual and very ambiguous. So need to kind of think about it. Yeah.
For sure. If you say that, I'll probably not understand anything because I mentioned in my episode that my mind just doesn't wire that way. I can't understand like very conceptual stuff and can't come up with conceptual stuff either.
A lot of the readings that they give us, I don't know. I love reading. I'm don't get me wrong, but like these readings are hard. They're so hard because the language that those artists use, I don't know how to explain it. They explain their thoughts and emotions and the way they express their ideas in such a vague way. And I just don't know how to explain it.
I know. Yeah. Okay. So I did the IB and we had this art exhibition and then there were some people who were so good at art. And then, like, somehow the language they used were just very artsy, and I don't know how they learned to write like that. And then when I just go and look at their art and look at their art description, and then no matter how many times I read it, I still, like, until this day, I still don't understand what their art is about. Right? It's so, like, vague. Like, what are you trying to say?
Maybe that's the point, though.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not conceptual enough. Like, I'm definitely not a fine art person. Yeah. Since you said that your briefs were all quite broad, what is the broadest brief you got?
All of them. Hold on. So last semester, our brief was object, image, space.
It's always so broad.
You could do anything.
It's very similar concept to way like art GCSE in the UK works that way as well. Like I think the one for my year, it was called past, present, future, I think. And the other one was together and apart, and it's just so broad.
That's an GCSE brief?
Yeah, that's why I had to do my exam for together and or apart.
That's so different from IGSE topics.
How do you do it?
I think for us, it's just like they have like a whole paragraph. For example, it could be like natural objects, and then they talk about like the botanic garden, and then you have to go to a botanic garden and do some visual research and do some sketching, and then you maybe make a leaflet for the botanic garden.
That's much more structured.
Yeah, that was what our brief was like. There were a lot of different briefs though, like some are more like design and some are more like visual art.
I mean, even though I say like these abstract topics are kind of hard and broad to deal with, I kind of enjoy it at the same time because they really want us to experiment. And I feel like with these briefs, I have experimented with a lot of my methods and a lot of my own ways of making art. And I think it's quite cool. So it kind of pushes me a little more, which is something I really like.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you ever get tired of experimenting?
I think experimentation is something that it's like a love-hate relationship. Even though I like it, at the same time, I'm very anxious because I want to know like a rough direction of where I want to go. But sometimes you don't really know and you're just experimenting and then you're just like, oh, what is this going to lead to? Like, I'm so anxious and I get nervous.
Yeah. It's stressful to take so much time onto something and it not lead to anything. But that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to accept it. I'm trying to embrace it. So it's all part of it.
Very open.
So when you make art, do you usually just experiment or do you have like a kind of an idea of what the final product is going to look like?
I think usually I have a very vague idea of what I want to achieve at the end, like a very vague one. I might have like a sudden epiphany at the beginning when I'm brainstorming and then I'm like, okay, that's like a very ambitious goal. And then there are so many things that I can experiment with. Like the project that I'm working on now, like I have an ambitious goal of wanting to do animation, which is something I've never done before. But then I'm like, okay, there are so many things I can experiment with, like drawing in my sleep. Or no, I can't draw in my sleep. I wish I could, but yeah. Our brief this semester is time, memory, and place. Very broad again. So I'm doing something related to dreams and the unconscious.
Very cool.
What were we talking about? Like,
I think we were talking about your creative process, I guess.
Were we?
Didn't I ask you, like, do you usually think of the final product?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So usually I have like a vague idea of the final product. Maybe I should go into how I have
yeah.
ideas or something. I don't know. So I think I've told you guys a bunch of times before that I would shut myself in my room in complete silence with a sketch pad like in front of me and my pen, and then I would just think, like just in a deep period of thought, and then that's usually what I start with.
That's intense.
Obviously, like if I have a brief, I would write it down on my paper first, and then I would literally just sit there, and then I would think. Just pull things out from my brain. I wouldn't like look at my computer. I wouldn't look at Pinterest, or I wouldn't look at my phone, because I feel like if I'm looking at them, it's not from deepest part of my brain. I want to get some things out. It's like a deep dig inside my brain. And then after that, I usually do my maps, like really rough ones. Probably not as organized as Tanya, like just circles and little lines connecting. And then after a while, I just kind of try and imagine things in my head. And then I think I write really rough words on the sketchbook and see where they can lead me. And then that's when I look on Pinterest or when I look on YouTube and see what other people have done towards the topic, or I talk to people. I think having conversations with people makes your brain stimulated. Yeah. And then after a while, well, depending on the kind of work I do, if I'm making a video, then I usually think of a story. If I'm making a fictional story, and then I write a script, I storyboard, and then I plan out how I want to shoot, like the camera angles, the lightings and stuff. I'm not that great, but I try. And I look on YouTube of how people do it, and then I do it. And if it doesn't work, I do it again. Yeah, like it really depends on the kind of work I do. So if it's photography, it's different. If it's drawing, though, I think I usually just go for it because there isn't really much planning. It's like I just want to see how my art goes, like that. I think that's it. If I'm stuck, like sometimes when I'm stressed and I'm stuck, I usually tell people to shoot words at me. I would tell you, for example, Cassie, give me any words, bombard me with words, or Tanya, bombard me with any words that you think of.
Just any words.
Yeah, any words. Like you can literally just say monkey, pillow, camera, like in a really fast speed so that my brain kind of work more. So yeah.
I feel like you're very like impulsive. You just go with it.
Yeah.
Spontaneous. You're very spontaneous.
Yeah.
I wish I was spontaneous.
Yeah. So you'd have like a very naturally creative flow in your head. It's very cool.
Oh, thank you.
And I really like your sketchbooks.
Oh yeah, your sketchbook is so
it's so
fun.
messy.
Yeah, but that's what makes it good. Like it looks so free. I don't know how to explain it.
But it looks neat at the same
Yeah.
time. Like your handwriting and your drawings are so neat. Sometimes I see your storyboards when you need to film something. The sketches are so nice.
Really?
Sketches are so cool.
Yeah. I really like to see how you film it. Like last time I was able to see you. Well, I was also involved in it actually. I was stuffing food in Tanya's mouth.
Ah, lovely.
For one of your
Give me
one of
war
your briefs.
flashbacks.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
That was so aggressive.
So this is my project from my last semester. To recap, the brief was object image space, right? So I wanted to look at societal conformity and like manipulation and shit like that with all the information that we consume. They have good intention, but then as time goes on with social media, with a lot of people passing things on, meanings kind of get twisted. But then because a lot of people are supporting that cause, a lot of people are supporting that specific thing they're going for, they eventually become numb to it, or like they eventually become conformed to it. And then even if something that's not exactly logical comes in their way, they still take it as reasonable. They still take it as something that's very supportive of that cause, very good for that cause, but then it's not. Essentially, it's very illogical and very unreasonable. So that's basically where the idea came from. And then I filmed 3 videos. The first video was of Tanya eating cake, and then the second video is of Tanya eating, and it's like a storyline. And then she goes from eating real food to eating like a kind of sandwich that's not exactly layered right, and then Cassie stuffed the sandwich into Tanya's mouth, and that's where the stuffing came from. And then eventually she progressed onto eating fake food, and that's like a progression from consuming something that has good intention and then consuming something with twisted intention. Yeah.
And the puking of food represents...
Oh, the last videos was of me puking out food. I wanted to show how to revert the conformity that we have in us. We need to debunk all the ideas that have been ingrained in us. We have to destroy all of it first so we can consume new information or like relearn some of the things. So that's where the puking came from.
So much thought behind these.
It all makes sense. I feel like the things that you make, for me, for my brain, I understand it.
It does make sense.
Which is good. Because sometimes, like, when I look at other people's descriptions, I just don't understand it. But then for yours, it's always quite clear. Like, when I watch the final video, it's, like, really impactful. It's, like, in your face kind of style.
Thank you.
Do you think that was your proudest work?
I would say currently that's my proudest work.
Woohoo!
Oh.
Obviously, when I look at my work, there's always things to improve on. But then maybe because it's the most recent and because I did it during a time of pandemic, I don't know. I think that kind of made me quite proud.
As you should.
I think I haven't asked this question, but you've already talked a lot about your creative process of creating videos. What is it about videography that makes you interested in it?
I don't think I was that into videography until the first year of uni, actually. I feel like videography, because it's moving and because you can explore it in so many ways, like you can make it fictional, you can make it non-fictional, you can make it abstract, you can make it very tangible, very clear. I feel like there's so much possibility with it. And yeah, I just like the possibility of it. I didn't expect myself to get into videography, actually, or photography, because I was very much into the traditional media, like very much into drawing, very much into illustration, not so much painting, but like I've always been very multidisciplinary, but not that much into digital. But now I'm very much into digital media. So yeah, very surprising.
And that's probably your favorite medium to work with right now, right?
Yeah, like video and photography.
What kind of style do you think you have?
That's very difficult for me because I feel like my style changes a lot and I feel like it's different according to the project that I'm working on. So I don't know how to describe my style. What do you guys think my style is like?
You have quite a psychological, thrillery type vibe.
Yeah. Also kind of surreal.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You can see it in most of your work.
Even just like the doodles and things.
Everything just turns out quite surrealistic and creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy. Maybe to people who are not used to my work, maybe they think it's kind of odd if they see me puking like food.
It's interesting though.
A very unique style to have.
Oh, thank you.
Tanya mentioned that your art are quite psychological.
Yes.
Do you think that's something that's found in most of your work? Like that's a subject that you really like to work on?
Yeah, because I mean, I think I said it before. I really like psychology as well. I like learning about theories related to psychology. As controversial as it sounds, I really like Freudian psychology for some reason, or like the psychoanalytic psychology where people tap into the unconscious or subconscious and like the repressed thingies in your brain, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into details, but yeah, I like psychology. So that's why I really like to incorporate that into my work. I just think there's so much in our brain, in our selves and our identities and our relationships with others or society that are very interesting to look at. So I think I do that a lot.
It's very interesting.
Do you think it usually reflects your own personal life?
To a certain extent, yeah, with my art. A lot of my art comes from my observations or comes from my emotions or my thoughts or my experiences or my memories even. I feel like I draw a lot of inspiration from what's within me, around me. But then nowadays, I think I try to go more towards the broader spectrum because I want to develop my artistic side more. Like, you know how sometimes you're writing some questions to some applications or something related to art and they're like, oh, what do you think your work has an impact on the society or whatever? And I'm just like, oh, I don't think it has an impact. I'm scared if it doesn't have an impact. So like now I'm trying to expand it more.
Do you want your art to have an impact?
I hope so. When people see my art, I want them to feel something. I don't want them to interpret it in the way that I want them to interpret it as, but I want them to see certain things in it that they might relate to or might evoke certain emotions and at the same time potentially evoke some sort of insight within them or something. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Make them think, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
You just answered one of our questions. What do you hope to bring to the audience with your work? That was a really nice transition. Tanya.
I've lost structure in my brain. Where are we?
What's your favorite self?
Your favorite tools to use, I guess, traditionally and digitally.
Traditionally, I love pen and ink because it's so easy. I can just literally get a piece of paper and pen and just like do whatever with it. And digitally, you mean software?
Yeah.
Well, I think now because I do a lot of video and photography, I like Lightroom and Premiere Pro. I'm starting to like Photoshop.
Ooh.
Yeah, because you've been doing some animations with Photoshop, right?
Yeah, very minimal amount of animation with Photoshop and some more detailed photo editing.
Which one do you prefer for photo editing?
I use both Lightroom and Photoshop. I put photos into Lightroom first to edit in a general sense. Like I edit the color scheme, I edit exposure and light, whatever. And then I take into Photoshop to maybe retouch the skin and make pimples disappear a little.
Magic.
How long does it usually take for you to edit one photo?
I don't really keep track of the time. Probably like an hour or so. I don't know, but I really enjoy editing. I really, really enjoy editing photos and I really enjoy editing videos. I know that a lot of people say that, oh my God, I hate editing. It's so much work, but I love it. Because I feel like for video, it's the time when you can actually bring your storyline to life. And then I feel like for photos, it's actually how you can enhance what you've already taken better.
There's no like get in your head replaying like the same scenes a lot with video editing.
I think I got used to it, just like the podcast. I edit the podcast episode every week, right? And initially I was like, oh my God, I'm listening to all of our voices so much. It's like looping in my head now. But then now I'm used to it and I don't mind it at all. Like it's just a very normal thing for me to do. It's just like constructing a storyline. I really like podcast editing as well because it's just audio. It's not like I have to care about what we look like. So
it's easier.
It's just the voice. It's taking out some of the things that might be repetitive, deleting some irrelevant things and maybe moving some things from the back to the front and some things from the front to the back if it's more coherent.
Yeah.
Editing does all the magic.
Yeah.
I don't know if to ask the inspiration question because you kind of already answered it a little bit in your process, but is there any other ways you seek inspiration?
I think Cassie has said it before, taking walks really help.
Oh, walks are very good.
Walks are really good. Sometimes just go outside, put on your earphones and just walk without any destination. Just see where you go to, where you head to, and then see what you can think of. Your thoughts kind of roam around when you walk. What else? I look on Pinterest.
We love Pinterest.
You just keep scrolling, saving.
I think every artist loves Pinterest.
Yeah. What else?
Yeah.
Sometimes if I don't have inspiration, I try to just get a piece of paper and pen and then just draw and see what my hands go.
How does that work?
Because when you're doing that, your mind is relaxed. So your mind kind of thinks.
Wow, maybe I should try that.
Yeah. Try it.
Wow. Because, well, my lecturer, he did a lecture on creative blocks and he said that the best ideas come when you're relaxed and not trying too hard. So I feel like finding ways when you can be relaxed is really good because you can use that to think of things and think of ideas.
Yeah.
Other than creative block, has there been any struggles that you encountered during your creative journey?
So the first point is obviously feeling of inability and feeling that I don't know what I'm doing, feeling that I am actually not good at what I'm doing, or like just saying that, oh my God, other people are so good and I'm not good
Yeah, that's me as well.
You know, that cliche thingy
Yeah.
that goes on in everybody's head. But yeah, that goes on in my head every time I work on something. I try to block it out, but sometimes it's quite hard. But yeah, that's one of the struggles that I encounter. There was a time when I couldn't decide which field to go into, and I even doubted my decision to go into art. I was like, what if I'm not creative enough? What if I'm not meant for this? The second point is that sometimes I get too much in my head. Like I get too overwhelmed by my own thought and I get too anxious. Not by feeling of inability, but more like, what am I going to do? How can I develop the project? And then sometimes it affects my sleep. Like it just keeps me awake. For example, if I have a sudden epiphany in my sleep, I would keep developing that idea in my head, even though I wanted to sleep. And my heart rate would just keep pacing.
Right.
And then I'll just...
This is very relatable. I do all of these things too.
Yeah. And I'm just like, can you just calm down, please, Alice?
Right. It's like 3 a.m. Go to bed.
Yeah, literally.
Like for me, it's kind of different. It's not like there are so many ideas in my head, but there's no idea in my head. So I'm just trying to squeeze out the idea every time. So when I'm going to bed, I'm just like, think. It's like a different kind of struggle.
Like you should try to be more relaxed. I think ideas will come into your...
But then we relax and we get too many ideas that way, and it's not helpful either.
Struggles.
Don't sleep as a creative.
Oh, and I think another thing that's very detrimental that's related to creative block is my own attitude towards creative block. Like, it's one thing to get creative block. It's a struggle, but it's another thing to have a bad mindset towards it. Because whenever I'm experiencing a creative block, I'm very stressed out, and I get so stressed to the point where I literally can break down any second. It's so bad. Like, I think I'm better now, but I think I talked about it in one of the episodes where I was under a period of deep stress, and then I couldn't come up with any ideas. I couldn't think. I didn't know what to do. And then I was just like, oh my God, I'm not creative. And then I literally broke down in the middle of my art studio.
Oh no. Oh, is this in first year?
Oh, no. I mean, like, art studio as in before uni. So I went to an extracurricular art studio to prepare for my portfolio. And then, yeah, I was just very stressed out. And I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
I can definitely relate to that. Creative blocks.
It's a struggle.
And I think for me, like, I get nervous when I start a project, especially when you had a project before that you did really well on, and it puts on more pressure when you do the next one. Yeah, you're like, oh my God, I need to. What if it's so bad this time? Yeah. I feel like artists really need
therapy. Yeah.
Yeah, therapy or mental support.
Honestly,
like you think of so many things that could go wrong. It's really detrimental, and it really prevents you from improving.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there should be like a support line just for creatives or something. Maybe we should make a support line.
So we listen to people's creativity woes.
Yeah, but like we can't even solve our problems. How can we solve other creative problems?
We'll just need to cry together, that's all.
Oh, that's true. That's cute. Yeah. Oh my God. If you're creative listeners and you think this is a good idea, just, drop us something, comment or something, it'll be pretty interesting.
Maybe you can just like DM us, and then we can just chat and just relax, chill together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice. And then you can share with us your ideas, and we can give you some ideas as well.
Oh my God. You know what I love to do? I really love to listen to different people's ideas and give feedback, and also like spin off on ideas, because I feel like when other people give me what they think of, my mind works really quickly, and then I just like, oh, what if you can do this? What if you can do that? And then like, they're like, oh my God, yeah. And then we just keep talking. I love these kinds of conversation.
Yeah, I really like listening to other people's ideas, and somehow my brain works better when I'm trying to think of ideas for them, but not for myself. Yeah, because when you're thinking of something for yourself, you're more stressed about it. So you're just like, oh my God, like, what should I go with? But when you're like thinking of ideas for a friend, you're more relaxed because that's not your project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why conversations with other people is very important.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what if it's like recorded, like a podcast, so that they call in and then we're like, oh, what's your idea? That's cute, right?
Hey, fun.
That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good.
Wow, you guys are just hearing us develop ideas for our
brainstorming during podcast session.
Oh my God. Anyways, where were we?
I think you summed it up already. So, would you say that you are happy where you are creatively at the moment?
I would say I am content, but of course, like, there's room for improvement. But I'm glad that I am much more experimental now. Before uni, I wasn't exactly that experimental because I wanted to prepare for my portfolio for uni applications, right? But now the only thing that I might be slightly considering is grades, but it's not like the most important thing anyway. So it's just, I'm doing this for myself all the time, and it's nice, and I like expanding. So I like where I am now.
Amen.
That's good.
Inspirations, people that you look up to, do they exist?
I was talking to Cassie yesterday. I was saying that I feel like it changes all the time. I don't have a person like Jeanette Liao that Cassie looks up to so passionately. I wish I do, but I don't. But yeah, I think mine changes all the time because for different projects, I kind of look at different people's work. I seek different inspiration, and it just changes all the time. But currently, I love this photographer called Zhong Ling. I think she's a Malaysian photographer, but then she's currently in Taiwan. I don't know if she's Taiwan based, but her photos are very surrealist. very minimalistic and yet edgy, very clean, very, very, very nice. I love the color scheme, every single aspect of her work. It's so cool. And now she's doing this project where she goes on a photo shoot every day for 365 days and she posts every single day.
Oh, wow.
It's such dedication and all the work that she does. Wow.
Wow. Does she have a handle? Can I look? I want to see.
Oh, it's ZHONGLIN_. It's got a clown.
Oh my god, it's so cool. Instant follow. Oh my goodness.
Like, when I saw them, I'm just like, she's so good.
Chef's kiss.
Do you have any other people that you look up to, or currently is it just...
Yes. Another photographer that I really like is called Tim Walker.
Oh, I love Tim Walker. I love the editorial ones.
His photos are so aesthetically pleasing. His set design, his costume design, his lighting, his just perspectives. It's so dreamy, so like it's just like a fantasy. It seems like you're living in a magical world. Tim Walker. I don't think he has an Instagram.
No, I don't think so.
No.
He's amazing though. He was mentioned during the photography module. His stuff's so cool.
It is.
Wow.
Who else? Okay, this is an illustrator. The three of us, we discovered her together. Her name is Livia Fosaru. I don't know if I said her last name right. Her Instagram handle is LIVIAFALCARU. It's so good. Her style, I just love.
I love her palette.
Beautiful palette and very minimalistic, simplistic. Yeah, I think these people are the ones that I really like.
It's always nice to hear who artists look up to, because you can really see like where they take their inspiration from. Okay, I think we're getting to the end of our episode. What do you see yourself doing in 10 years?
My dream life. Wow, that's a very difficult question. I want to do so many things. It would be nice to own a gallery and curate different themed exhibitions. It would be nice. I would like to have a job that allows me to travel a lot. I like going to different places. I don't like settling down. I want to experience different cultures, different interactions with people. I want to get another degree.
Why not? What would you go for?
Psychology.
I thought so.
Criminology. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Even music. I don't know anything. I want to do so many things. So many possibilities. I even thought about like, at the same time I could sing in bars or something, you know? It's kind of cute.
I'm so jealous because you want to do so many things.
I think it's cool.
I want to be that passionate as well.
Yeah.
I feel like it's nice to have many possibilities, but it's also problematic in the sense that I don't know which direction I want to go for.
Yeah, I feel that very much.
Yeah, but currently I think I'll take it to more of the video or photography side. These things are very vague, and then, yeah, it would be nice to write a book too. Yeah, see, my brain just jumps around.
Oh my god, what is it going to be about?
I don't know. I would love to write my own story one day, but...
A memoir?
What is there about my life to be memorable about?
You never know. Once you get there to the time that you write a book, might be so many stories.
Who knows?
I'm very excited to see where you go towards.
Yeah, I don't like to set myself too much limitation at the moment. I want to like see where things lead me.
I like that. Very nice.
Yeah, I like that. So, where can people find your art?
Here we go. So, my Instagram is ALICEEE_ART. Yeah.
Nice. Do you want to plug your doodling account?
It's called Mustachio. MUSTATIO. Don't know why I came up with the name. I think it was in the middle of the night where I got suddenly inspired to start this account. I'm like, oh, what name should I start? And then I thought about the mustache that I have on my mustache region. And it's like, oh, mustachio, sure.
That's so cute.
And I thought about pistachios as well, so
amazing.
might as well, right?
What a way to make names.
All right. I guess we'll wrap up this episode. I hope you guys really like this series, if you will. of us chatting with each other. Yeah, in the future, we want to chat with other people. We want to bring up guests to our podcast, and we want to hear their stories as well and share their stories to you. Yeah, that's something that we're planning in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And we'll catch you up on the next episode. Bye.
Bye. If you like this episode, feel free to share it with your friends and family. You can find us on all listening platforms, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Better Late Podcast to stay updated. Thank you guys for sticking around, and we hope to see y'all soon. Bye!